Hello, my name is Dr. Fred Sylvester from New Hanover Chiropractic, and welcome to this episode of Health Talk. Today we're going to introduce our community to a program that we have been involved with probably for the last 10 to 12 years. It's called Buckle Up for Safety. And Buckle Up for Safety is a unique program in which we are able to extend out the awareness of why people should wear seatbelts. Over the years, we've worked with numerous police departments and multiple business associations as well to bring the awareness of people just to basically buckle up. It is a very, very simple action that has big consequences to the overall health, longevity, and quality of health for a person. Very simple to do. In the state of Pennsylvania, we have a voluntary buckle up rate of 89%. And the U.S. national average of voluntary buckle up rate is sitting at 92%. So we're about 3% underneath that, what the national average should be doing. That has real consequences. If we would increase our percent in Pennsylvania by 1%, taking it to 90%, you could save 10 lives a year and also then decrease the injury rate that is associated with motor vehicle accidents by roughly anywhere between 10 to 15%. Now, to understand this and to understand the numbers of what we're dealing with here, there's 42,000 people who die each and every year from a motor vehicle accident across the United States. If you would wear a seatbelt, you could decrease the overall fatality rate by 50%. So that means that you're saving anywhere between 20 and 21,000 lives per year, just by simply clicking in. As we start to explore that, the costs that are associated with motor vehicle accidents roughly averages about $15,000 per episode. If you have 6 million accidents, that puts you about $9 billion. If you just simply buckle up, the overall healthcare system could save almost half of those funds. Time to think about other things when you start to think about it. When a motor vehicle accident occurs and any injury occurs, it just doesn't end as the injury stops or starts. You have a long, typically recovery period that happens over the course of that time. And in that recovery, that's time and suffering. And time and suffering then has major complications and also value to it. So by simply actually continue to make that decision to buckle up, not only saves lives, but it also improves the quality of people's lives, even in post-accidents. A couple interesting stats that I think we all need to be aware of at this point is that most accidents, most fatalities occur within 25 miles of your house. And another interesting stat is most fatalities occur under 40 miles an hour. So that little jog to the store and that type of stuff where you don't put the seatbelt on, or kind of a little bit, kind of where you're not actually thinking about those things that anything could happen to you, are where most of our fatalities in motor vehicle accidents occur. So with all that being taken into consideration, a simple action where you can buckle up can save not only lives, but also can improve the quality of somebody else's life as well. A couple things as I've been doing this program over the last few years is some people will say, well, I don't want to wear a seatbelt because, and one of the biggest ones is that, I don't want to be impacted from the side, and because then I won't have anywhere to go at this point. Side impacts are more rare than frontal impacts, we know that. Other people talk about that, if the car was that got submerged into a lake or a body of water. We know that most of the times what happens in motor vehicle accidents is that if you're not restrained, you fly across the car, typically rendering yourself unconscious. So if you are unconscious and in water, you can't get out. So we know there's a lot of myths that are associated with why you should or shouldn't wear a seatbelt. Another interesting fact that we should all be aware of is that if you are thrown outside your vehicle because you're unrestrained, there's a 4 times likelihood that you will die. So staying in the vehicle is most important because that's where you're safest. And then finally, what we also understand in close is that everyone who's in a motor vehicle accident that suffers a fatality or a major injury, the whole community shares that burden, personally, professionally, economically. So these are major consequences that happen to people by just simply not clicking their seatbelt. So again, what I would reinforce that we all do is that we make sure we wear that seatbelt at all times. So we know there's a lot of myths that are associated with why you should or shouldn't wear a seatbelt. The overwhelmingly evidence is that everybody should have a seatbelt on because it decreases the chances that you may die, and it decreases the chances that you may have a severe injury. Good day and good health.